Well, good evening and welcome back to Rangers Radio. A disappointing Rangers lost 3-1 in the semi-final of the League Cup. Join myself, Fox, you're on the show. It's GB. How are we doing, GB?
Welcome back, mate. What a turn of events, eh? What a turn.
Right. You want me to go?
Aye, you go first, mate, and then I'll just add to it. There's not much to add to it, to be honest, but on you go, mate.
All right, Alan, I'll go through the team. Alan McGregor, I thought he was no culpable, but could have done better for the first two goals. Can't blame him for the penalty kick. James Tavernier out of sorts, poor in the first goal. Borna Barrett, she's one of Borna's, I don't know. I think Bassey's actually in front of him now, personally. It doesn't bring a lot. He doesn't play with a lot of heart. The two centre-backs, just play it down the channels. They'll be struggling. Bit of pace, we're worried. Somebody puts two up against us, we're struggling, as we've seen. And particularly you saw that with the second goal. And even then, Balogun gets turned by Nisbet. Golson doesn't know where to start go, steps up. Tav doesn't come with him, slides it down 2-0. Then they get the penalty kick. Soft, but I think Stephen Davis did maybe catch him. It's very similar to the penalty we gave away in Belgium when Stephen tripped the ball in the box. 3-0 done. We get the goal. We got a wee bit of a lifeline. We start the second half well. Oh, sorry, I'll carry on with the players. Stephen Davis, poor. A lot of industry, but poor because we're so narrow, so there's nobody to part with. Scott Arfield got the goal. For me, should have started the game. Glenn Kamara influenced the game for about 20 minutes in the second half. The rest of the game pretty anonymous. Joe Aribo, our best player of the piece, I thought. Alfie, poor, but it was the way we played, mate. He's against three. And Ryan Kent, again, back to his start of season form. Didn't look fit, but I would say that he's playing too narrow, and then you don't get the best of him. This three roll, Big Hampden pitch, get him out wide, and then on the substitutes, well, they come on and didn't have a lot of time influence the game. But cowardly, rudderless, and obviously that's the end of the Steven Gerrard reign today, and the Giovanni Van Bronckhorst reign starts tomorrow.
Brilliant. Great summary, mate. I'll just pick out the couple of players that you mentioned. Borna and Tav again. It's a bit of calamity Jane for the first goal. Aribo was our best player the day, I felt. Take him off again. For me, I was shaking my head. And then, like Ryan Kent again, the boys in deep in midfield and passing forward when this guy should be out wide and running at pace at these defenders. It's the first half for me, I felt we started well. We were Hibs were racking up the yellow cards, so I was wanting to press on them and obviously get them to make the mistake. And then obviously they get the first goal. That was
the first time they'd been up the park. I think it was 8 or 9 minutes on the clock. Goal, corner kick, and for me, all the incidents happen in the 6-yard box. Balogun's no strong enough with Porteous challenging Tav. You could argue he's unlucky, it bounces off falls to him. If you watch Kamara again, we're defending a corner. You're first and foremost, you've got to be between the goal and the man you're marking to make sure if he hits it, you can influence the play. We're not trying to break away and score for a corner kick. Mm-hmm. You need to be switched on, and all these things, the three of them, and then you throw in the goalkeeper. It's awful close to Allen for me, mate. 6-yard box, a lot of people think you come out and you punch it and you catch it. You take everything and get it.
I don't know what it is about us conceding the first goal. It seems to drain us, and then it's like a panic for the next 20 minutes. It's just so frustrating, Ox. I didn't foresee the way, especially the way we started, because I felt Joe Aribo getting into the box right within a couple of minutes and stuff like that. I was like, we're up for this today. But again, like you say, mate, as soon as that first goal goes in, then it's back against the wall again, and we're trying to chase our tail. And that second goal, that Boyle takes it well.
I'm not going to pull him in this new Fox. He's had a busy day, but I'll maybe speak to him tomorrow, see what his thoughts are. But maybe the king is dead, and it might be time for Patterson. I thought that they were particular to Buffalo, Morelos, Arfield, Tavernier, Kent, Barisic. They were all poor. Golson, Balogun, they were all poor. Davis, just maybe a 5, mate. Yeah. The only one I would maybe get, as I said to you, you're talking about Joe Aribo, a 6 at best, maybe a 6.5. Yeah. He tried and he all the skill will be been in play, but we don't get enough players up the park. There's times where our system's not working. Teams have worked us out. They put 2 up front. They go 3, and then they sort of go 5-2. We're outnumbered in midfield. Their wing backs then stand in front of our full backs, and then we stand scratching our head, mate. It's no new. We've said it all season.
Yeah, it's the isolating the fullbacks. As soon as a team does that to us, then we're bang right in the middle of it, and it's nothing happens. Like I say, there was times where, like you were saying there in the first half, we were pushing up, but there's no end product. We're getting into the box, and then it just stops Ox. It's just
we're always trying to score the perfect goal, the perfect 1-2, the perfect flick, and my decision making. There was one Scotty Arfield did a decent shot in the first half. He got a good goal, and then he could actually do a hat-trick another day. We had a shot for about 35 yards, and we went. And I'm not blaming Tav for this. He's trying to get up, and he's getting there as quick as he could. If you've got natural width, they just had to stroll it out. There's nobody. He's in the middle of the park, and there's nobody on the right-hand side, 30 yards of play at Hampden. A big wide park like that. Anyway.
Just to add to that, I mean, see the day, do you think Hibs won that with skill? No, they won that with hard work, did they?
Organisation, mate. Organisation and having a game plan where they knew when you get the ball, you put it here, you put it here, you put it here. You put it here, you put it here, you put it here. Right, okay. We'll get these phone lines open. I don't know if they'll be hot or no. You never know.
I think they'll be on fire, mate. Let's hear from them.
Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Aye, well, we can argue all we like about the boy David McCallum took in the game. He did look at his depth. He would stand outside. But I'm not blaming him, mate. The players, they're experienced enough. There was no rookies on that part. There was no kids thrown in. And we just didn't perform. We gave away bad goals and didn't score any and didn't make enough chances. Their goalkeeper in the second half, GB, he didn't have a safety, mate.
We've talked before about Alan McGregor having a deck chair. I think that guy had a deck chair the day. We just didn't test him at all. And it was amazing to see that one that he flapped it. It was a pass back and that. It just shows you, like, these guys are nervous too, so why not have a go? Like, get in the box and a ricochet, something. Just to, I mean, Arfield's goal did, like you say, give a lifeline. And I was expecting it coming the second half that we had, I think it was 54 minutes.
All right, I'll cut across you. We'll be joined by Cal. Evening, Cal.
Evening, Ox. Well, it's not a good evening, it's just evening.
No, it's still good evening, mate. It's still good evening.
It's still good evening. Right, can you give me a minute before you cut in?
I'll let you have the floor as long as you act in a correct manner, Cal. You carry on.
Right. Alfie, what was you on the park for? Didn't get a ball. Playing midfield, doesn't work. I'm sorry. We played a 2-year-old team apart from Balogun. Didn't work. Let's make changes, please. God in heaven, let's make changes. We're stale. We're predictable. And I thought we controlled the whole game, but we don't put a shot on target. You know what I mean?
Possession doesn't win your football match, Cal.
I know it doesn't, Ox. I've said it before, and I get shot down every time I come on your radio station. I get shot down when I say we're predictable. We are predictable. We're very predictable. We've got a short passer in the team, Kamara. I think he's a great player, but he's a short passer. Aribo can't make decisions because he's that good at controlling the ball, but he makes bad decisions when he's got it. I'm very sorry to say this. I am really upset about that performance today. Well, why don't you get Bassi in the team instead of Barisic?
I don't disagree with that, Cal. GB?
No, when we were reading the team out today, I think a few of us were surprised that Bassi was on the bench. Bassi's been playing really well for us. I get that they put Bonner in for his experience, but for me, like Ox said at the start of the show there, Bassey has to start in front of him now. I think, Carl, the team, I think a lot of people say is the team goes through cycles, and I think we've reached the end of the cycle, mate. I think that Gio coming in tomorrow morning has really got to look at the team, and I'm not saying bring in new players, but he's got to look at a new system of some sort, because, like we've been saying, we're very, very predictable.
Exactly. And I think Stephen Davis should have been rested, because that guy against Italy ran 70 yards in the game. You know what I mean? You can't have that coming back in. We keep saying he is a great player, don't get me wrong. I mean, Stephen Davis is nearly as old as me for playing for Rangers, you know what I mean? He's one of my heroes, you know. But time comes, curtain falls.
I think you've seen that with the goalkeeper. Sanders time waiting for no man count.
That's it. Simple as that, Oxon. I'm sorry to say it. I was really disappointed today. I mean, I had all my sectarian bile on and everything before the game, and my wife could have testified to that, because I'm a nutcase, you know, and it doesn't help. Because everyone you put on's a defeatist song for a start, if you know what I mean. And I hate getting beat with anybody. And we controlled that game and can't put a shot on target in the second half. It's disgusting.
Well said, mate. Right, we'll let you go.
Right, okay, bye-bye.
That's you soon. He's right, mate. Usually I can put a defence up.
No. Ox, you can't defend that today. We read out that team, and as Fox said earlier, that was a championship winning team that started today. So
I was, but that's gone.
Yeah, I think so, mate. I think so.
Kenny's joined us. Evening, Kenny. Kenny.
Hi, good evening.
Turn your the show off, mate.
I've turned it right off. Caught me with surprise there, actually. So where do you start with this one? Yeah. First of all, I'd like to say my dad died last weekend. I've not been on for a couple of weeks.
Sorry to hear that.
For Saturday night.
Condolences.
By a shock to the whole family, you know. R.I.P. Dad. It must be young a great bit. Anyway, the night. On to the night. Absolutely symbolic. See this character, Gerrard? He's left us in a real mess here, by the way. I'm not going to beef about it with this one. Goldstein. I want this guy out the door in January. Tavernier here another one. I want the two of them just away out the club. Tonight's performance was an absolute disgrace, by the way. You know what I mean? It was a total disgrace. We've got psychopaths on the bench that don't know how to make a decision, right? And I'm calling the site to take a rebirth in that game. It just blew my mind. Even Ryan Kent, it wasn't him his greatest game, but two of our flair players.
I wouldn't have taken Kent off. I'd have moved his position and told him to come right outside.
I know. Ox, I mean, he was. He can't make up. I've said it all season, the times I've come on here. This Rangers team's a joke. And this character, Gerrard, I call my character, and if we need time for the guy, it's left us in a total mess. Defensively, we are shambolic, actually, right? It's amateur stuff, you know. Goldstein.
Yeah. I mean, they've went for the highs of last season where we were keeping goals out. And listen,
I call it.
We've got to look at the goalkeeper as well, mate. He's not making any saves.
Yep. No, I know. I call it. You know, I was talking to my son-in-law, right? I said to him, like, when do we lose? I call it the proverbial goal we lose every game now. But I'm not expecting 2-3. 3-0. The game is over for me. A miracle. You know what I mean? The only game I can remember Rangers come back in a semi-final, the Scottish Cup, 78, 2-0 against Murrow was that. They've been at the game, 1-3-2 in 90 minutes. But there's no chance.
We didn't have Peter McCloy with the assist tonight.
I know. But this team is shambolic. But Bunkers has actually worked in a nightmare with this team, by the way. He's left us in a total mess, defensively wise especially. You know, see the last 10 minutes of that game, Ox, I'm looking at that team, I'm sitting watching my daughter, you know, I just was, I'm like, where's the thinking here? You know what I mean? This is psychopathic stuff I'm watching here is coming onto the bench. There was no shape to the team. Everything that went in that team selection, incidentally, from the start was wrong. I would have went for the same 11 that started the last game. I'd say really Sakala was the team. And Morelos is another one. Just go. Sell him.
All right, mate. Listen, thanks for your call, Kenny. Really, really sorry to hear about your dad, and all the best and condolences for everybody here at Rangers Radio, mate.
Thank you very much. My dad was the girl with my daughters. We were all around him last Saturday night when he died. Right. It's been a sad week in Neil, you know what I mean? But Rangers Football Club, man, or Gio, man, you got a big job to do.
Hope everything goes well for you, mate. We've been joined by Blue Star. Evening, Blue Star.
Hi, Ox. Ox, first of all, I commend you, honestly. That's the best summarising I've heard for you in about 2 years, and I mean that in all seriousness. I'm being honest. Your summarising was absolutely impeccable there. You get everything bang on. Who this guy McCallum is, or whoever else was on our touchline, I know he might not have scored a goal, but we had one guy in that team that in the first half and the start of the second half, he was the only guy. Now, it's all right, somebody coming on and saying, well, he doesn't know what to do with the ball. The fact of the matter is, their players were frightened for him. And he was causing a bit. Yes, 100%.
He was the best football player on the park, mate.
Easily. And off him, what I don't get, Ox, and I've said this on this show, and all the time Stevie G was there. I want to see our midfielders. I don't want to see one guy. I want to see at least two that can run forward with a ball at their feet and run at a defence. I never seen one single midfielder. Arfield scored the goal. Apart from that, he was anonymous. Ox, we're man up front. I'm sorry. He shouldn't wear that jersey again. And I know we're full of emotion because we got humped. But the bottom line is, the wee guy hasn't kicked a ball, and it's all right saying he wasn't getting service. Forget that crap. He was on the park, and he wasn't. See the ball that Aribo put it through for him. Ox, I'll defy him that it was in that grunt to tell me they thought he was even going to score. I'm telling you could see the way he was even hitting the ball. It was never going to go by any goalkeeper, never mind that goalkeeper.
What a pass.
Absolutely. And our man Ken, he cost us £7 million. He's the only guy who's got about a skill apart with Aribo. He's playing in the right position. He's got to be out wide. There's fundamentals in football, as we all know, and that was like lambs to the slaughter. We're playing against a team, a green shirts, and all they did was have a bit of heart. Two wee guys up front that basically just ran at our defence, and we've got two big guys in the centre of defence that didn't know what to do. As for Goldson, you could go on and on and on, get shot to him. And the proof of the pudding's this. See the one at the end where he had the shot and he ballooned it out of the bar? Did you see what they done with Gio? He put his glove up to his eyes as if to say, what a shower. It was embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. Listen, we all know you can get beaten in football, but that was utterly disgraceful.
Listen,
disgraceful.
We huffed and puffed in the second half. We had them on toast. We were moving them from side to side. But they shots, their goalie, we never made their goalie work. They had three shots in target, mate. 3 shots they had the whole game.
Oh, there's a clinical thing. The guy was on the park less than 2 minutes, and he was well outside the box. But at least the guy had a shot, and he's been out for 7-8 months. Was Jack. We don't have midfielders on that park, and I know there was a couple of shots in the first half, but come on, their goalie never had a safety, mate. I mean, it's all right saying we were shambolic and everything else. We were, but for goodness sake, we kept saying before the game, we'd get experienced players that cost a lot of money on that park. Well, see the so-called experience. There wasn't a brain between the whole lot of them. It was disgraceful. That was worse than shocking, Ox. Take a beating.
Take a breath. Right, in you come. We've also been joined by GB. The other GB, Gary B. How are we doing, Gary?
Not good. Not good, as we can all feel, but that's what it is, boys. There we go.
Right. Point.
Well, I've just seen the Ryan Porteous post-match interview. I don't know if anybody else seen it, but I kind of think the boys touched on something, and I don't know if any of the rest of you seen what he said.
No, I've been on here, mate. I can't be in two places at once.
No, I know that. So I've just literally seen it. I was made aware of it, and I went and had a look at it. And basically, the interviewer said, "You look happy, Ryan. Are you happy with that result?" And he said, "Yeah, I look happy. Don't ask silly questions." So he's having a jibe at Gerrard, and I think that he's hit the nail on the head. He's basically pointed out the person who we should all feel a little bit angry about. I've kept my powder dry on Gerrard, but it is what it is today. Losing your leader and your manager and your compass less than 2 weeks before a cup final, semi-final, kind of proves to be quite poignant. The players look.
Aye, well, it's done. What that does is pro into the Steven Gerrard. He's gone. Blue Star, the Giovanni Bronco era starts tomorrow. That's it. There's no point.
Yes, but again, Ox, when you listen to Kevin Thompson at half time, and your JB's right there with Porteous, but when you listen to Kevin Thompson at half time, see everything the guy said. It was elementary stuff, Ox. Exactly what you came away with at the start of the show. That's what he said at half time. And what he did say was, he says, he's come out in the press and said it on live TV. He says, I don't want to see our manager sitting in a hospitality. He says, if that was the man, God rest him, that's passed away, he says, he would still have been doing it the outside of that dressing room, shouting in at them what to get out there and get tore in. I agree with you, Ox. That was bad crack. The cameras are on Gio sitting in a hospitality suite. That's wrong. He should have been away out the road so that they couldn't get him on camera. But he should have been done at that door, and he should have been getting an orders through somebody. We all know he can't.
Star, we've been joined by Ted. Evening, Ted.
How's it going? You all right?
Well, I love with Sunday afternoon. How are you, mate?
Aye. How you doing?
All right, mate. You're pretty quiet, mate. We can hardly hear you.
Oh, I can stop the motor if that helps.
No. You just carry on. Keep going, mate.
Yeah. Are we likely to get on or what?
What's that?
Are we likely to get on?
You're on the show, mate. You're live.
Oh, hello, everybody. How you doing? Listen, I'm going to give you my comments off, right?
Right, on you go, Ted.
We're going to draw a line under the Gerrard era, right? We're going to... Van Bronckhorst has got to come in. You see him put his hand above his face 3 or 4 times there. There's got to be his players. I'd like to get the boys here on, if we can afford them, centre half. I'd like to see Catty's back. And I'd like him to stamp his authority on that team. Maybe get the boy Patterson in from a start, give him a wee run out. The armband is up for grabs now, I think. So the armband goes to whoever deserves it. Who's the legacy players, and he needs to start with his own team and draw a line under it.
I don't disagree with that, and I've been a defender of Tav only because Fox tells me to be, but I thought he was awful today. Awful. Yeah. I thought with no width, he gets out there and he does the width, and I think he had to sit the first man about 6 times.
Oh,
he wasn't our worst player, but he was awful. That doesn't say a lot about the rest of them. Then.
Well, the back four are all bad today. The last thing we need is to be rebuilding the team at this time of year. But we're still 4 points clear. Remember that, If he's had a look at that team today, he's going to be looking at videos. And what he needs to do is to say, right, this is my team from now. There's no favourites. Favourites are the thing of the past. We're going to go with the strongest team.
I don't think we've not beat Hibs in the semi-final of the League Cup since 1947.
Yeah,
that's the 4th or 5th time I played us in the semi-final. They'll beat us in every one. Some start that. I couldn't believe that when I heard that.
No, it's unbelievable. I mean, there was passengers in that team tonight.
Yes, there was.
Passengers.
There was.
I'm tired of your centre forward as well,
Right, Ted, we'll let you go, mate. Good to hear from you. One of the Plymouth True Blues. Always good to hear from you boys, but we'll let you go. I'll tell you why your sound's no brilliant, mate. All right?
Aye, okay, no bother. Cheers.
All right, cheers, mate.
Bye.
And you come, Gary Valentine.
Aye, right. you don't know what to say. I mean, listen, it is what it is. Gio starts tomorrow, and I get what, I don't know who it was it All-Star or somebody that came in and said about going down at half-time and
you could
four
call
in.
him All-Star, but it's Blue Star.
Was it Blue Star, right? So, Blue, you're right in a way, mate, and that's what we all want, but Gio's got to be his own man now. See if you're a player worth your salt, whether you're a leader, whether you're a captain, whether you're an old legend, like I'm talking about your Davis, your McGregor, whether you're an Aribo or a Kamara, somebody that I would imagine be quite quiet in the dressing room. See at half time when you're 3-1 down, mate. See if you can't lift yourself as a Glasgow Rangers player to go out in that second half and get stuck in. You should be at the club. You don't need somebody to be shouting through you shouldn't be needing somebody at a doorway shouting that in, because you should have enough leaders in that. You should have enough leaders in that dressing room to do that. What Gio did is sat there.
That's what Thompson said at half time, wasn't it?
I didn't see Thompson at half time, but what I'm saying is that see as Gio sat there, right, and you're saying he sat in a corporate seat or whatever. The guy's literally the ink's no wet on the contract, right? He's got to sit there and he's got to say, right, players, and he's got a big squad of players there. He's got to say, go and impress me, right? And see the night for me, Morelos didn't kick a ball. Ken didn't kick a ball. Tav let himself down as captain. That guy, as a captain of Rangers Football Club, should have been doing more on the pitch. I always remember Ferguson saying, see when you need it. See when we were up, that 10-minute spell when we're 3-1 down and we're at Hibernian, right, and we're smashing them and we should have been scoring, and it started turning the other way. Do you ever remember Barry Ferguson saying when we're up against it, I'd just go through a player just to get the players going? Tav's never going to do that. For me, that's what a Rangers captain should be doing. He should be leading the players and saying, take it, Putin. Go through a player. Get the fans right up. Get them behind you. Tav would never do that. No, listen, Tav's been good for us. I'm going to say something now. Tav should be a secondary to the young boy Patterson now, because Tav, he cost us 300 grand. We've got our money out of him.
And move on.
He should be playing second fiddle now.
All right, I'll bring GB, Gary Bell in. GB, and you come.
I well said, Gary. I think the way Patterson's been performing, he has been knocking like loudly on the door, I would say. I think Giovanni Van Bronckhorst is going to look at that game today, and he's going to analyse.
You use two boys on the phone. Can you go on mute when you're not talking? We can hear you heavy breathing. Carry on, GB.
I think Giovanni's going to analyse that game today, and he's going to have a look and see where there is big frailties in the team. And to be fair, Patterson, when he started, he's not done much wrong. Again, along with Bassey. I think we have reached a cycle, an end of a cycle, in the team. It has been coming, and to be fair, in a way, it might be a blessing, the result today, because then Gio can actually put his stamp firmly on the team. Whereas if he won the day, then it might have papered the cracks for another couple of weeks.
Good point. Anyway, we've been joined by Andrew from Crookston. How are we doing, Andy?
Absolutely disgusted. Like every Rangers fan, I suppose. For me, Tavernier has to be dropped without a shadow of a doubt. I'm not going to sit here and blame Gerrard. I'm not going to blame the guy for leaving us with a cut and the party of semi-final. That team should have been good enough to beat that lot today. As you said, did 3 shots in target. We weren't taking shots outside the box. And get back to Tavernier. The guy he cannot lift this team. He cannot lift this team. And for me, he's got to be dropped. I think Patterson's got to be in front of him for now. I really, really do. When Arfield got that goal just before half time, that should have lifted us, and then he should have been in there. I don't know, maybe he did have words with him. But when he came out in the second half, it wasn't like when we got a couple of chances at the start of the thing. It wasn't saying, right, come on, like, you know what I mean, trying to galvanise the players.
That's only a credit I would give the team today. I'll be honest with you, Andy. I'm going to disagree with you there slightly. That's the only credit I would give the team today. The way they reacted at the start of the second half. We had them chasing shadows. We played some decent stuff, but there was no end product. And that was the only credit I gave them. The way we reacted, we had to get the second goal, obviously, and change the game, but we never, and it just petered out, and that was the frustrating. The first 15 minutes, particularly in the second half, I thought we reacted very well, but we still never scored a goal.
That's true.
I can't blame. Well, I thought Tav was poor today, along with several others, and I'll go to Blue Star after you, mate. I'll go to Blue Star next. I thought he was poor, along with several others. I think if you drop somebody in that performance, I might get a game next Thursday night against Sparta. But we'll see how it goes, and you might be right. Young Bassey and Patterson might be pushing Barisic and Tavernier. Blue Star.
Yeah, I'm getting me again. I thought the start of the second half, we had all the ball. As you said, we got up the park, and quite frankly, the ball was going from side to side. They couldn't punch it through. There's no imagination. But for me, first and foremost, even McGregor, how many times did he pass the ball out to a defender that was standing facing him with a green shirt right up his backside? It was laughable.
What they've done is right. They've worked out when Rangers go, they put their two centre halves inside the box, the two full-backs go wide. So if we put three up, and go centre forward, outside right, outside left, we mark the four players, and it's panic state. So
absolutely,
and it's so simple, and we've been fun out, and it's a Michael Beale playbook, mate, and it ain't working.
Ox, you and I had this same conversation one of the first games of the season against Dundee United, incidentally, and we get beat. Exact same scenario. They pushed us up at the back, and it's as if our players just don't know what to do. And it was the same today. Even when we had the ball, they get the ball out the halfway line, and there's just no imagination. It's as if they've got to stay in a certain wee kind of yardage box, and they're not supposed to run outside it. There was no running after the ball. None.
No, it's like painting by numbers. It's like coaching by numbers, and then when other teams react to it or do something, you go, you're not allowed to come here. That's not what happens in the training. But that's what happens.
Absolutely.
We have to listen. For me, and I'll be honest with you, I'll go back to Gary Ballantyne next, and then I'll go to Andy. For me, maybe the thing to go was to go 3-5-2 and maybe bring Sakala on and put him up beside Alfie. And then you've got behind and Alfie coming short with two through the middle and leave Kent on. Anyway, what do you think, Gary?
Listen, Ox, you're right, but Rangers' woes this season, mate, have been what's happened off the ball. People who don't know football, and I'm speaking to people who would class themselves as fans rather than people who know the game.
Whoa! The rest of them might, but no me.
No, but what I'm saying is that people. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but people who understand the game, the most important part of the game is what you do off the ball. Rangers were unbelievable last season because of what they done off the ball. When the other team had the ball, the work that they put, and I'd love to see the stats, mate, from how fast the players run off the ball this season compared to last season, how much ground they covered last season compared to this season, because it would be nowhere near the same, mate.
Give us your last words, guys. We're going to bring in some more callers. Give us your last words before you go.
Players just need a rocket up them, mate. They need to work harder off the ball. Simple as that.
Simple game, and well said, mate. Good to speak to you as always. You look after yourself. Stay safe.
No worries at all, mate.
Cheers.
And yourselves. Take care.
Right, cheers, mate.
Bye-bye.
You can't argue with that, Andrew. Then we'll go to Gary.
Yep, I totally agree with you. My wife's been my witness. I said to my wife, we go a 3-5. Why change it to a 3-5-2 and bring Sakala on? My wife sat next to me. She is my solemn witness. So what you said there, Ox, I'm 100% with you. I think if we brought Sakala on, it would have brought us a bit more pace. Because any boys that were coming through, or like you know, Alfie wasn't beating that central defender.
Whereas if we had Sakala on, we could have played a bit higher up, do you know what I mean? Higher up the park and, boss through, and we know that Sakala's got that pace to beat the defenders.
All right, mate. All right. Yeah, you're right, mate. Then they've got to worry about the ball behind them, not just in front of them. Well said,
but
mate.
we're chasing the game. Do you know what I mean? So
we need goals. We need
goals, mate. Exactly.
Right. Cheers, Andy. You look after yourself, mate. All right.
No worries. Cheers,
right,
man.
Cheers, mate. And you come,
Cheers.
GB.
Cheers.
Ox, another thing I noticed today, and it's like I say, it's probably me just being a wee bit petty, but this season I've noticed more that Rangers are looking for fouls and all that, and when they're getting shoved off the ball and going down, they've got their hands up in the air looking for the referee to do something. Last season they were being stuck in about it and got their backside back up and go back into the game and chase that ball back down. There was a lot of that today.
Maybe you've summed it up there, mate. Last season's gone, mate. You're judged on your next game and your last game in football. No last season.
That's what I'm meaning, though. The desire's changed for some reason. Okay. He go and fight the cause.
Still, mate. Anyway, we've been joined by the one and only James from Tennessee.
Yeah, I just want to say I really admired Tavernier's scripture reading at Walter Smith's memorial. I thought Ecclesiastics, a time to live and a time to die. He's a very, very nice guy. But as a footballer, he is too soft. I said that years and years ago when he moved from Wigan to Rangers. He won the league. I told him to get rid of him. There's a few players. It was like watching 2016. I was at church, only saw the second half. But Rangers are not aggressive enough. These teams are up for it. They fight for every ball. They chase every ball. We're too soft. We defend. We let the player have the ball and then we'll tackle them. Why are they not on top of them right away? Even in America, the girls are more aggressive than James Tavernier. When is James Tavernier going to get sent off? I'd be saying to him, go and get sent off in a game and see how you feel about it, because you're too nice a guy to play football.
James, I really accept that James Tavernier didn't have the greatest game today, and the ball bounced off him for the first goal. Don't know if it was really his fault. Second goal, it was a split good pass. I actually blame Balogun, who let Nisbet turn so easy. I was screaming right away. I don't know if you've seen it. He wasn't great today.
Yeah.
He wasn't nowhere near the worst player today.
Yeah, but
that's with him less than 5. Do we need a change? You might be right.
Yeah. Well, I think that, put it this way, if I get beat in 2016, I'd be so determined to play the game. I'd be all out. And I'd be saying to the team, I want to beat this team. This team beat us 3 years ago and we lost the cup. As you said, we've never beat them since 1940. That's what, 50 or 40.
In the League Cup.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous situation. We're not aggressive enough. If a new manager brings in players, please bring guys that can tackle, be aggressive. These guys who play these kick-the-park guys off the field, that's what they're like. We need players that will do that instead of being too nice. And we never shoot. We're all the same problems. And by the way, I don't blame Stevie G. If he wants to get back to his wife and be with him, I think he did a good job. It's time to move on there anyway. But I'll go now anyway. But
right, always good to hear from you, mate. Good points.
Okay, take care. Bye.
Cheers, mate.
Bye.
Cheers, mate. Both Star, I don't think you can blame. When you win a game, you win it. Oh, we've been joined by Bazza. How are we doing, Bazza?
Aye, not bad, boys. How's yourselves?
That's a good question.
Aye, I know.
The floor's all yours, mate.
So I'll give you a wee update. I'm not in Ormond County anymore. I've actually just moved closer to Scotland. I'm over in Myrtle Beach now.
All right for some, mate.
So, a wee bit closer for you to visit. I remember last time I was on, you said, we're coming to visit. Well, I'm 6 hours closer to you now.
You're a bit closer, aren't you?
Aye. Anyway, I just my thoughts on today.
Right.
Well, first of all, actually, my thoughts on Steven Gerrard leaving Rangers. I said to my wife a while back, I said, it's not working for me. We're going back to the first 2 seasons that we had under Steven Gerrard. There just wasn't something there. There was something not right. he won us the league that we coveted and we were desperate to win, and I'm very grateful for that. But this season we've not kicked a ball a season. So when the news broke that he was leaving, I for one was not upset. I'll tell you that right now. And then when we were on the lookout for a new manager, the first person I said to my wife that I would like in charge was Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. Today's decision for him not to be involved, I think, was a very poor decision. I think the guy that was in charge is today, the under-21 coach, I think he's a very poor excuse of a coach, because some of the decisions and the team that he picked today was very safe. He picked a very safe team with Borna Barisic at left back, Tavernier at right back, and I believe the two of them and Alfredo Morelos up front, I believe was a very easy decision for him to make, but a very poor decision, because young Patterson made his debut for Scotland. He's on fire. He should have started. The last few games, Bassey at left back has been 10 times the player that Borna's been defending and going forward. I think we're better with Jack in the team. But as I said, I want to touch on the coach today. I think it was a very poor decision by Rangers to let that guy run with that team today. Some of the substitutions he made today and the team he picked today was just abysmal. You take off Scott Arfield and Joe Aribo, who are probably two of the best players on the park today. And then there are 20 minutes left of the game. We're down 2 goals and we decide to put on a defender. I'm like, what's going on here? What's going on in this guy's head? What is he thinking? Morelos didn't kick a ball all day.
Yeah, I think Balogun said he signalled that he was injured. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I accept that, but you should have had up front Morelos. Wasn't doing nothing all day. I would have had Roof on instead of Sakala. I like Sakala.
Roof wasn't in the squad, mate. Roof was injured in international duty.
Oh, he was? Okay, I didn't know that. I was too busy organising the house this morning.
You're doing all right, Pastor. Carry on.
I'm doing all right. I'm doing not bad. Well, I didn't know Roof wasn't in the squad, but I would have had Morelos off, because he done nothing all day, and he's not done nothing for. I mean, we had that goal a few weeks ago by him, but he's really not been the player that he was. And the one decision the coach made today that I thought was right was taking Kent off. He done nothing today.
I agree.
It looks like he's disinterested. He wants away.
I agree with you, Kent, but the one decision I think the coach got wrong was playing Kent in that role that he played him in the start of the season.
Yep.
Playing that free role inside. I just don't get it. Both start. I don't get it.
No, he's a blooming winger. What's one of the things opposite you know yourself, Gio will do? If you're playing with a winger, he's got him out in the wing. That's the way the guy plays football. That's the way the teams he was in. You can't play with a winger with the skill that Kent and the speed that Kent's got. When he's cutting inside, what advantage has his speed got? It's not got any advantage. When you're a player with speed, you go forward with the ball. How did they get 3 goals a day? 2 of them they hit us on the break, and all they done was run forward with the ball. You can't play Kent and tell him to cut inside all the time. It's pointless. Absolute pointless. All they had to do was push him out wide. Totally agree with you, Ox. Totally agree with you.
I mean, that guy McGinn, when they want to be facing up against Kent, running on with it.
Exactly.
Well,
a guy with pace.
You wouldn't want to face up to that boy McGinn anyway, with the state of his keeping.
Oh. Aye. You're right, mate. He's having the last laugh of the day, but I get you. I understand him, and I don't want to blame the guy, David McCallum, because he picks a team, and I agree with you. I would have Borna, I couldn't understand. Bassey's been playing okay. I think yourself, Bazza says he went for the safe option, and I agree with that. GB?
100% it was a safe option today, because we even picked out some players that were. We talked about Morelos, Kent, and Aribo, and then it was basically the usual midfield: Kent, Davis, Kamara, and Arfield. So he didn't. Hindsight's a great thing, Ox. At the end of the day, the guys went for tried and trusted and experience. I mean, these guys have went the distance, so you would be expecting them to go out and have a performance. And Kevin Thompson said at the start that these guys didn't need a manager.
I'll cut across you guys. We're joined by Jimmy. How we doing, Jimmy?
Hello. Hello, today, sad day today, eh?
Aye, we've lost a football match. Aye, we've lost a
Aye,
football
that's it. That's all right. It's a blessing in disguise, probably, you know.
Potentially,
when I heard the team, I said, "Oh God, there we go again. No pace up front again. Can't know why that. We need Sakala. You need pace up front. You know what I mean? Never had it."
Well, if you're playing Kent inside in a deeper role, and you're there 3 centre halves, they're no worried about Alfie running away for you, are they?
Oh no, not at all. Lack of pace again. 2 full backs that don't want to be at the club. But one wants to be at the club. He can't go anywhere else because he's rubbish. Hibernian. But the other one, he'll be gone. He'll be off. 2 centre backs that can't take. These 2 boys run right with him. You know, they're playing funny games with him. One go one way, one big Balogun. The first thing the Knockers will need to do is unravel him, untangle him.
Oh, he was really poor with that second goal when Nisbet.
Oh my God! But the goalie's right. The goalie, I know he needs a wee rest. I think his time's calling. You know, definitely the first one in the corner. He should have been out for it. You know,
it was
the first time he's done that this year.
Very close to him, in my opinion.
Aye, don't get me wrong. The guy is a great servant, a great goalkeeper, but his time's up. You know, his time's
up. That's the first time you phoned in.
I've seen the team. I went, oh my God, no pace again. And then I was listening to the build up to the game here, and the guys that taking over McCallum and the rest of them, they're saying, "Oh, it's okay. We've got a system in place, and everything's going smooth." Harfield's saying the same thing. "Oh, we're all right. We're going smooth. We're going smooth." But we lost the first goal in the last 6 games. Well, that's 7 now, isn't it?
That's 7 in a row. Yeah, 7 in a row.
So you say to yourself, God's sake, man, it must be great, eh? We're going to get Hibs a goal at the start of the day then. We're playing the same way, you know.
You're spot on, mate. I mean, listen, I don't want to blame the guy McCallum. He was putting an 0-1 situation, but he did look like a rabbit in the headlights, didn't he?
Oh, I did. I mean, even when he talks about the B team, you ever watch him on the telly talking about the B team?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, he goes off to a tangent. You don't know who is this guy. You know, he can talk a good joke, you know. Yeah, I think he's out of Murphy's club, but we got rid of Murphy here.
He's
next he'll be doing headstands.
I hope he's doing him somewhere else. He was another one that was, don't get me started on him. But no, you're sitting there, the foe's a striker, right, and he's watching that performance, Umbrellas. He must tell the guys, he says, look, get him off and get somebody on with a bit of pace, get Scacano on right away, you know what I mean? But nah, terrible. Maybe we define Jermaine as wanting to sit in the sky and usually give you your resume in the game. Maybe that's his future anyway. I think he's another one. You know?
Aye. We're going to move on.
Anyway, you new guy coming in tomorrow.
Giovanni starts tomorrow, didn't he?
Aye. Well, the first call I would make is to Croatia and get the big man back.
Big Katic.
Exactly, yeah. Big Katic.
That should be his first call. Say, look, son, I don't care if you've got 2 bad knees. You get yourself out here, you know. And if I can get 50 quid for goals and let him go tomorrow morning, in fact, let him go tonight.
Right. Cheers, Jimmy.
And Tavernier is a sweetener.
Aye, well, you can add him in for Gerard loves him. Let him go with Gerard, then let him go.
Oh, no, I don't think Gerard will take him there, mate. Listen, Jimmy, great to hear from you, mate. Great call as usual, yeah?
You take care. Thanks very much, boys.
Brilliant call.
Have a nice night, everybody.
Right, cheers, Jim.
All right, Oxshare, I'm going to clear up the lines as well and let somebody else call in.
Right. Cheers, Bazza. Great to hear from you, mate.
I need to go here in the back garden. There's an alligator crawling up. I need to go and wrestle and make sure he doesn't damage my plants.
All right, mate. You just get that garden ready for when we come over, all right?
I'll see you soon then, brother.
All right, take it easy, Bazza.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. All right, for some GB, yeah?
Aye, alligators and everything. That's not no bad pet, I suppose, mate. It'll keep the robbers away.
Right, look, we've lost a game. We were poor. With a spell in the game, when we dominated, but we never took. Well, we never made enough chances for me. I'll go to GB first, and then that was the first 20 minutes of the second half. We had to score a goal. I believe if we score a goal, pressure comes on the top of Hibs and it becomes a different game. GB then Blue Star.
Yep, Ox. It was this. Our next goal, or the next goal in that game, was going to be crucial, and we just couldn't find a way, mate. It went on too long, and the sad thing about it, we had 90 plus 5 minutes there, so we could have had a good enough shot at it to try and get that third goal and take it to extra time. But sadly, I'm afraid the team just wasn't up for it today, mate.
Blue Star.
Yeah, plenty of ball possession first 20 minutes of the second half, and if they'd got a goal, it could have been totally different. But for me, to gear up a semi-final, remember, we don't want to keep on about him or keep on looking at negatives. That's 9 now that we've gave up. And we've not just been beaten, Ox. It's why we're getting beaten. We're like lambs to the slaughter. I mean, in all honesty, it's all right saying we had possession. We've done nothing with it, as you said. We're getting beat with totally inferior teams with a lack of ability. We're actually beating ourselves because we're naivety. I mean, it's absolute basics that we were getting beat with. A ball gets flighted into the box and we've got 2 big 6'4" centre-halves and they don't know what it is to go and meet and header a ball. There was one of the times Kamara he had 2 or 3 hip shots run about him. And instead of Arfield and the other wee guy, Davis, running off him from to pass the ball, which he was trying to tell them to do, the 2 of them come in towards him. They actually put him up in the air for their player. It's total naivety. And we're playing with guys with their experience. And yet, there's no experience getting shown when it matters. We're getting beat with inferior players and inferior teams with naivety, and I'm baffled.
Cheers,
as you say about the wee guy McCallum, I mean, it wouldn't matter even if Gio had been on there trying to tell them. They've got experience. They've played at international level for donkeys. They should be playing with a bit more positivity, knowing what to do. They've played with one another often enough, and yet we're getting out there, and they were caught in the headlights, a whole lot of them. They really were.
All right, mate. I think you're right. I think it has went stale, and it's hard to believe, GB, but it might be a blessing in disguise going forward, and it might have been a blessing in disguise with manager moving on, because it's definitely went stale. Last word for you tonight, GB?
Very disappointing, but I think, like you say, Ox, we've gave the new manager ammunition now that he can go in and have a free rein at sorting the team out.
All right, mate. Listen, thanks to yourself, thanks to all the callers for the way they conducted themselves, thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. The lines were really, really busy in a short show. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 talking about all things Rangers. I think it might be a busy show, GB.
I think so, Ox, mate. I think so. Thanks again, buddy. Thanks.
Port Bear will be out with his pen and pencil, because we'll be joined tomorrow night by the one and only Port Bear in the bridge. I'm looking forward to that. The view from the bridge. Thanks.
Yeah, mate. You have a good one, buddy.
Cheers, GB. You're a star. Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue, as I said. Thanks for listening. Stay safe, everybody. See you tomorrow night. Take it away, Old School Blue.
Ever since I recall, I have followed football, and ingrained in my heart are the Rangers FC. Through good and the bad times, of happy or sad, it will always be Rangers for me. For when I was lost, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. And I vowed to my dad, if I so here I stand with young Lyle by the hand, after walking down Paisley Road West. For when I was a lass, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue, and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. Sense of pride that I feel deep inside as I'm watching the Jazz with my father and son. And it's sure safe to say at the end of the game, win or lose, we will all follow on. For when I was a lass, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue, and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'd be Rangers for life.